24/7, 365. The fantasy season never dies. Welcome to Every Day is Draft Day. Presented by Champions Round.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Day is Draft Day. It feels like it's been a minute. It's already pitch black out because it's winter, which makes this season so painful, but we're here. We're going to answer your mailbag questions, a lot of good ones. I'm your host, Stephie Smalls. This is Eagle Dan FF. Eagle Dan FF, how are you doing?
I am doing well. I had a mini heart attack earlier in the week with the whole thing, as you well know, but since it isn't as bad as I thought it was at the beginning, I'm doing much better. Thank you.
Yes. Very theatrical. Like
it really was.
It was
unnecessarily so, honestly.
It was actually unbelievable how dramatic it was. We were doing a recording on MVPs, and then we didn't know. All of a sudden, the odds are going everywhere, and I'm like, we may even have to re-record this now because I don't know what's going on.
Right?
Is Hurts gone? Is he coming back? What's happening?
Is he dead? Broken collarbone?
What's happening?
I'm like,
we need to know if he's okay. Exactly. It changes things. Before we jump into these, go download the Champions Round app. Hit like, hit subscribe. I mean, you don't have to hit like. You can hit unlike. Is it unlike? Like, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you call it. We just rolled out something new. The full rollout will be tomorrow. Get excited for that. Let's jump into these questions here. A lot of good ones, a lot of fancy ones. It's a weird part of the season where now we see what a league winner really is. You have guys like Zay Jones really popping out. But first question, at Alfred E84, he asks, this is a star-sit one, Ramondre Stevenson, A.J. Dillon, if available, which I didn't realize that he was banged up, or Jamal Williams. What are you thinking here? Because this is a trickier one for me, I think.
I mean, I like Stevenson just because he's been absolutely I never heard of a quieter, amazing running back season than the one that Ramondre Stevenson has had this year.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor, and here's Stevenson just plugging away, scoring 15 points a game for the last 10 weeks. And no one is going to beep about it. It's just hilarious to me. I mean, it's fantastic. So I'm gonna stick with Stevenson here. I mean, he's been proving it every week for most of the season. So why stop now?
Yeah, I don't want to get cute with this because I think this is I can see where people get cute with this one because the Bengals they're solid. They've been solid against running backs. They've allowed the 10th fewest points, 8th fewest rushing yards per game to running backs this season, but this is their guy. He is RB8 on the season.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, right? And it's funny because I feel like Damien Harris was the one that was getting all of this hype coming in, and that's why I felt uneasy with this backfield. I didn't know where I wanted to put all my money at here. And then you look at, Dillon has a pretty nice situation, and I think it's tempting to start him given the performance he just had, but he's also not their RB1. I think that there is something to that. They seem to do this whenever it's cold, too. He was definitely getting more involved. Miami isn't great against running backs. And then you look at Williams. They have a solid defense. So I think my argument here would maybe be Williams because he gets a little tick, I guess, against – I don't know. I think I like Stevenson here too. I don't think we get cute with it. I think we just stick with it. He's been great. Right. He's their guy. He gets the ball a shitload.
Yeah, especially at this point in the season where you're probably either in the fantasy quarterfinals or semifinals. Just go with the guys that brought you there. There's no reason to not play Stevenson. If he was hurt or something, or if he had a couple of bad games in a row, but neither of those things have happened. So just play him.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you in that one. All right. This one comes from at the D Train. Which two are you keeping next year in my keeper league? The round listed is where they'll count for me next year. Okay. This is a fun one, actually.
I like this one.
I like this one. Ramondre is also in this one. Ramondre, 8th round. Hopkins, 9th round. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Godwin, 6th round. Higgins, 3rd round. Saquon 1st. Eckler 1st. Hurts 6th. I think the answer is somewhat easy.
Yeah, you can go first this one.
Okay. I think it's obviously Hurts in the 6 because there's not a chance in hell that he drops that low next year. It's just not happening. Not a lot is going to change offensively for this team. You should expect very similar results. Like, will he repeat a QB1? Like, is he going to be QB1 again next year? Maybe not. We don't see things repeat like that. He's still going to be a top 5 quarterback next year, no matter what happens. So love that in the 6th round. And I think I'm going Ramondre.
Yep. We agree
right?
again. Yeah.
I think that's got to be the answer.
Yeah, this is a layup. I mean, you're not going to take a running back in any kind of starting running back, especially how he's performed in anything below the 5th round is just automatic. Like, that's automatically the answer. And like you said, Hurts is going to be a top 5, top 3 QB next year. And with like the people like Mahomes going like round 3, round 4, if you can get him in the 6th. I mean, these other guys like Eckler and Saquon, like, they're not really worth firsts for me. I mean, you can just draft them. If you want them, just draft them again in the 1st, like whatever. Godwin in the 6 is decent. Hopkins, I don't want any part of. Higgins, just take Higgins in the 2nd round next year if you want him that badly.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the positional value with receivers is low enough where you can just go grab someone else. And no running back is worth a 1st round pick for me ever. Ever again.
You're gonna get Dan Diego running back in the 1st round, so
I'll never do it. So yeah, exactly. So I mean, the round values you're getting on both Hurts and Stevenson for this question is easily a slam dunk. Those 2 guys.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, one more, and then we'll answer this one in the chat. This comes from @BMoreTrevor, who sent a bunch. We'll start with this one. Yes. How excited are we about Calvin Ridley in Jacksonville next year? I'm very excited.
I am super excited.
I feel like people should be really fucking excited. And also, he's only gonna be 29. Like, everyone chill out. I feel like this is like almost everyone is overreacting a little bit to his age because we haven't seen him. Right.
Well, that's the whole dynasty thing where any player above 27, 28 is like dog food. It seems like. So I just ignore that. I mean, he's been sitting out a year, so he's going to be healthy. I mean, that's not going to be a concern. And with the way that Trevor Lawrence is kind of taking a leap the second half of the season, with Zay Jones and Christian Kirk playing as well, Jacksonville might be a top 5 passing offense next year. And that's not really as much of a hot take as it sounds. No, it's not. I mean, Ridley is going to be the wide receiver 1, and he fits that role because he did it for the Falcons. I'm with you. I am super excited to see how they do with ETN there as well. Like, that offense is going to be sick next year.
Yeah, and I talked about this a lot in our preseason shows. Like, I am so excited for this wave of change where we're going to see teams like Jacksonville be really good. Like, that is so cool because they've stunk like shit for years, and it's really awesome. And I think Doug Pearson is doing such a good job. You see Trevor Lawrence making this development that you wanted out of him and what we kind of expected. He still has some things to probably clean up with accuracy and downfield, but I think he'll get there. And I think Doug Pearson was a great addition here. That offense has some awesome weapons. They have Evan Ingram not dropping the ball. That's amazing. There has been an exorcism.
It's a miracle.
Yes,
it's a miracle.
He walks. I know, it's crazy. It's awesome. Yes, very excited for Calvin Ridley. Let's take one from the chat. What is up? Denver's favorite, and also I never know how to say your username, and I think if I tried to, I would mess it up.
Quadwell Bergie.
Bergie. Is it Bergie or Bergie? Send us how to say it phonetically because you're always in here. Bergie. All right. Denver's a favorite on the road against the Rams. Will a late run give us another year of Hackett and Russ? Bonus question. Doesn't Wilson's Subway sandwich ad look like he's talking to a hostage? That is so funny. Do you want to take this one first?
Yeah, I'll take this one. No. It definitely shouldn't, no matter what happens the last 3 games, even if they win every game 56-0. I think it's become crystal clear that, Wilson's staying no matter what because of the contract they give him. They can't get rid of him. It's just he has to play. But Hackett has proven over the course of the season that he has no idea what he's doing as a professional head coach. And it's easy for me to sitting as I'm just talking, but it's clear. He doesn't do anything that a head coach needs to do. His game plans are terrible. With the amount of talent that the Broncos had, we were talking to them as legit Super Bowl contenders before the year started.
I was not. I want to be clear.
Okay, but a lot of people were, right? You can agree. A lot of people were. They were the trendy. They
were trendy. They were the
Super
trend
Bowl pick.
of the. Right. A lot of people lost a lot of money.
And they've been complete dog shit all year. Like
Yeah.
there's no way that any head coach should survive that. So I don't think Hackett should get it another year. No. And yes, he does look like he's talking to a hostage in that Subway commercial.
He does. And also their schedule is like not a cakewalk by any means. They have Rams, Chiefs, Chargers, like
Right.
and that, you know, the Chargers game is going to end up being important, maybe important for them towards the end there. Yeah, I mean, Hackett stinks. I would be surprised. I think we all can tell that the reason why Hackett was there was to bring Aaron Rodgers in.
Yeah.
That did not work. They brought in Russ, gave him like, I still am not 100% sure why they gave that deal before seeing him. After seeing the way he performed the year prior, he was still like a good but he was starting to have issues the year before. Like this did not, and I think that's a really big misconception. Like this did not start when he got to depth. Like he was showing symptoms and signs.
Right.
I
think a lot of people explained it away as it was Seattle's fault that he was as bad as he was. Like, they just glossed over some of the warning signs and thought, hey, you know, in Denver with all the weapons that they have, like he'll be back to, you know, being the Wilson of the Super Bowl era, like Seahawks, and it just hasn't been the case.
Yes. The Seattle Seahawks that are second in the NFC West with Geno Smith. All right,
love it for Geno.
I love it. I think it's awesome, even though he's, you know, come back down to earth, which is great. All right, let's get to the next question. Finding my questions here. Where are we? Okay. Which division was worse? 2020 NFC East, which if you remember, didn't the Eagles come in last that season?
That was, yes.
They did. Or this year's NFC South. What's funny about that, before we answer the question, is I do not remember the last time, I don't remember the Eagles coming in last, which is so funny. I don't
either. I just have blanked it.
Isn't that crazy? I can't
completely. We actually had a tie then too. We tied a game. We were 4-11-1. I don't remember the tie. I don't remember anything about that season.
It's because it's 2020. The years ago. What is that? COVID too? Like we're all out of it. No one remembers shit. I think the 2020 NFC East might be worse, which is shocking. But I think the NFC East had more talent. I don't know. That's a tough question.
It is. I'm going to go with the NFC. I'm going to go with the NFC South this year.
Okay.
I
mean, it's pathetic football.
Right. But relative to expectations, I mean, Brady is still the quarterback in Tampa with all those weapons, and they're still 6-8, and then everyone else is 5-9. Like there could legit be a team that finishes 7-10 and wins. And I know like the Commanders won the 2020 season at 7-9, so. You know, it wasn't as great, but like they're just terrible. I mean, at least like in the 2020 NFC East, like people scored points. Like three of the four teams scored at least 300 points or more. I mean, the NFC, and there's still 3 games to go, but in the NFC South now, like they're just terrible. The Bucs are winning, and they have a negative point differential of almost 40 points. What?
It's really bad.
It's the worst.
It's not pretty. They're the worst. Okay, I'm with you on that. You convinced me. All right, next question here. Where are we at? Oh, this is a long one. Oh gosh. I lost where I was at. Okay, here. At school _Troy. Gonna be shit weather in Cleveland, which I have to look at where the weather is gonna start really affecting games. He says, have Andrews and Njoku. I was going to start Njoku. My guess is Andrews is due if Lamar plays. Here's the thing, though. You actually can't blame it on Huntley because Andrews has finished with single-digit PPR points in 5 of the last 7 games. Lamar played 4 of those 7. And, I mean, Andrews hasn't reached 13 points or scored a touchdown since week 6 or something crazy. I'm actually going to go Andrews here because I do agree with the fact that he probably is due. And Njoku, with him being limited on the injury report and weather, I'm going to lean Andrews here. But if he does shit this week, I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of goes back to my response to the Stevenson question where you drafted Andrews to be like the guy. Even though he hasn't performed as well, you know, in the second half of the season, I can't. You would hate yourself if you sat Mark Andrews, and he went off and you lost your matchup.
And the draft capital you spent on him,
right? I'd rather go down playing my stud guy and he's sucking than trying to be cute and then playing Njoku when he scores 4 points and Mark
Yeah.
Andrews has 20 on the bench. Like I would never
Yeah.
forgive myself for that. So that's my reasoning for playing Andrews over Njoku.
Cool. All right, this one's this one's a fun question because I think
like
it makes
fun
me
questions.
think, and I love questions that are like make you think. Okay, at Will_Jinx90 also sends in questions all the times. Who should I start in my 2 flex spots, non-PPR, Bam Knight, which you can hopefully make me understand the obsession there because I'm not getting it. Christian Kirk, Chuba Hubbard, Cordero Patterson, or Zach Moss. Ready, go.
Christian Kirk and Bam Knight.
Explain Bam Knight to me right now.
Okay, so
because I don't get
it. ETN is either hurt now or just not effective for whatever reason. So he is, as crazy as it is, like he has performed. Bam had. I don't know how you got the Bam thing. I don't get that one.
I don't either.
But with the carries he's been given and the time he's been given, he has performed decently well for that. So I would go. That's why I'm going with him. I just don't trust any of the other. It's more about I don't trust Hubbard with form in there. I don't trust Patterson for any reason, and I don't trust Moss. So it's really like a process of elimination kind of thing with these two. But that's where I'm leaning towards for this. And Kirk is. I mean, we already talked about Jaguars. I mean, offense. Kirk is just a no-brainer. But yeah, I'm going with that. And I don't know why I said ETN.
I have a fun answer. I don't know why you said ETN either, but I wasn't going to correct you. It's because they're playing Jag. It's good. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I meant Brees Hall.
It's easy, guys.
I'm sorry. It's late.
The seasons are fucking us off.
Burnt out.
Okay. All right. I have a psychotic answer to this question, actually.
We love your psychotic answers to everything.
I think you should start Zach Moss this week, and I don't give a fuck. I think that if you picked him up, you're probably down bad enough. I think that his usage absolutely skyrocketed after we saw JT get hurt. He rushed 24 times for 84 yards versus the Vikings, and the Chargers have allowed the second most yards per carry and the 5th most total rushing yards this season to running backs. I actually like Zach Moss. You know what? It's the semifinals. Like, get weird with it. I'm all in on getting weird with it. I like him. I'm with you on the Christian Kirk thing. I'm out on Cordero, which is sad because we all know he could blow up at any point. But he hasn't totaled more than 60 rush yards since week 3. So what am I supposed to do? He scored 1 of his last 5 appearances. I feel like there's almost more potential in Zach Moss than there is in Cordero this week.
So does the fact that Nick Foles is starting now change your mind about Zach Moss either way?
What do you think Nick Foles is going to Nick Foles doesn't want to play football anymore. He said multiple times, stop making him play. The dude literally said he wants to be a backup quarterback. He gets every time people make him end up starting. He doesn't want to play football. He wants to pick up a nice check. He doesn't care. He wants to get a paycheck and sit on the sidelines. They said that he wasn't even he hasn't taken a single first team rep.
That's a training camp. No,
the Colts are, first of all, the Colts are a literal disaster. Can we talk about that? They are a fucking disaster. And it's like, I know you're trying to tank, but do you even know what picks you have and what you're doing right now? Because you guys are, I'm over it. The Colts are turning into one of those franchises. I genuinely feel bad for their fans. They've always been a quarterback away for so long. And then this year it's Wentz. And then, it's a disaster over there. It's awful.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, with Luck retiring under their noses, it was tough. I do like Zach Moss anytime. I do agree with you.
Yeah, that's fun. I wonder what the odds are in that. I'll have to find them and I'll post them on my Twitter.
Yeah. But yeah, ever since then, they've been trying to Band-Aid the position, and they've done it all wrong. They should have drafted someone. Well, they should have drafted Ritter, honestly, this year and played him. But, they didn't. But so they're a disaster, and now everyone's getting older. They're getting hurt. Quentin Nelson's getting up there. Jonathan Taylor's hurt a lot now, so the window seems to have closed.
I'm stressed for them. Here's one for you. Minshew mania.
Absolutely, we're all aboard the Minshew mania train. There is no way with Gardner Minshew going to and talking at Mike Leach's eulogy.
Not a chance in
Not a chance in fucking hell that he loses this game. There's not a chance. We're going in our all black uniforms. Like the last time that he talked with Leach, he said Leach told him to wait for his opportunity and he's going to kill it. There is no chance that Minshew does not destroy the Dallas Cowboys if he plays. There's no chance of that not happening. That's my opinion.
And like, I don't know if anyone's seen, but Cowboys Twitter is they're reaching this level of like, I am starting to get concerned. Like they got down really bad last week. They now like are tweeting excited that Minshew playing shouldn't get you as excited as you think. I don't think it's as exciting. Okay, let's take another one from the chat. Hi, Eric. Hey, I'm in a 2 QB league, not Superflex, one of my favorite types of leagues to actually play in. I've got Fields and Hurts, with Hurts questionable. How are we feeling about Minshew? Kai just answered that. Feel great. He did this last season, right? He came in. Did he play one game or two?
He played one whole game against the Jets.
Yeah,
I think he did great. Honestly, yeah. He did really good last year. He threw for 2 touchdowns. So like there isn't like you should have like he has better weapons around him this year than he did last year. So there's no reason to not have confidence.
I was going to say is like the Eagles offense is kind of plug and play right now. Like I think there's very few quarterbacks that couldn't walk into that and succeed. Like even if they simplify the playbook a little bit more, like it's a system that's been built so well that you even like the most basic quarterback could have success there.
Sure, we'll go with that.
I'm trying to.
I know.
I'm trying to. I just want the Cowboys to lose, and then I don't care what happens to the rest of your season. That's all.
That's it. Yep, just lose.
Yeah, I can't. I think that it would be best for Dallas to come back down to earth a little bit. They're getting very, very excited.
Obnoxious.
Yeah, it's starting to be a lot. All right, let's do where we at? At Matt. I don't know who at Matt is. Hi at Matt. What is the earliest you would take Kelsey given how shitty tight end has been in redraft next year?
Okay, so ready? Here's how early you take him. 107.
Okay.
That's how early you take Travis Kelce. Because we do this every single year. It's Travis Kelce, but here's an up and coming, TJ Hawkinson and David Njoku and Kyle Pitts and all these other wonderful young guys that are gonna be up there and take the title. And every single year, what ends up happening is that Travis Kelce doubles the entire field in point total. When are we going to understand that this guy, especially now with Tyreek Hill being gone, he's the focal point of the Kansas City offense until he retires, and we should give him that kind of respect and the fact that if you get him at tight end, he's such a better player than the next player, gives you such an advantage. You can plug, you can get running backs later, you can get wide receivers later. You can't get that kind of advantage position-wise anywhere else in the draft except at tight end. So go and get him early and then fill out your roster later. I
am turning into, I think that outside of like dynasty, I think I'm fucking done drafting tight ends. I think I'm over them. Like I think that you can find a way if you just have to put more effort in because you just have to stream probably every week. But Kelce is probably the only one I'd consider taking the first round. And at that point, I probably still will not do it. The nice thing is you could probably get value on him next year because everyone's going to do the same shit they did last year. So if you can get him in the early second, like that's a smash play, obviously. But I think I will lean more into streaming tight ends because we saw those weeks like Daniel Bellinger, Okawa. I can't say it right every freaking time.
I'm not going to try.
Yeah, every time.
Nope.
All right, let's do another one from here. My QBs are from Island of Misfit Toys, Carr, Watson, and Mike White. Drop Carr for Minshew.
Not Carr. I probably drop Watson.
Honestly. Yeah. That's
because Watson is not going to be. He's not doing that great.
Yeah. I might drop Mike White.
Yeah, he's also. But also like how like do you need him for? If you need him for 1 week, just drop Mike White and then just play either Carr or Watson. Next week. So, because obviously, I don't think you're going to need him for longer than that. So yeah, I would drop. I agree with you. I'll drop Mike White for Minshew.
Yeah.
There are so many Minshew questions.
What's up, Jeff? Sup,
Hey, Jeff.
y'all? Need some super flex help in my home league. Jalen Hurts is out, so who do I roll with? Pick 2 to start: Heineke, Watson, or Minshew. Man, I'm probably rolling out Minshew just because of the upside with the offense.
Yeah, and then the other one, I'd probably go. Let's see, who is it? Heineke. Who's Heineke?
Yeah, I was just trying to think of that.
Oh, the 49ers.
Oh, they have a hard.
Nope.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
I just
not the 49ers.
I just clicked. Probably not.
Both of us were like, nope, not the 49ers.
Yeah, and I think
Watson.
Heineke has also started to show like little signs of like why he wasn't the starting quarterback this year.
Right.
While he is doing a phenomenal job. Again, like this is when you start seeing that start trickling out. Happen with Mike White too. This is why you see those guys like they are studs off of like almost adrenaline, and then once people get tape on them and they can figure them out and make them sweat a little bit, it usually goes downhill. Honestly, I don't know why no one's talking about this, and obviously he's not available in every league. I picked him up in a league that I have Jalen Hurts. If Daniel Jones is available, I don't know what people are doing, but like he's literally QB 11 on the year. He's playing a team that gives up the 6th most points to opposing quarterbacks in fantasy. And I think we've seen the way that Minnesota plays. Like this could be a chance for this Giants offense to actually have like some success, whether they win or not, it doesn't matter. But that's how these games have gone. So if he's still available, which I think in Sleeper, at least yesterday, his ownership was like 48%, which is really low.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah, isn't that insane?
Yeah, absolutely. If he's available in any league,
like pick him up and stash him. Like don't play defense. Don't let anyone pick him up. That's crazy.
Or even just play him. Like he's doing
good. Don't be fucking crazy. Don't be weirdos. That's weird.
40. That's crazy.
Jeez.
It's only 46%.
Isn't that crazy? It probably has gone up since.
That's a malpractice, honestly.
Yeah, that's like, people.
What are people doing?
I'm offended. Like I get you guys hate him, but please, like, can we not? Okay. All right. Let's do another one from Trevor at Be More Trevor. Does Lamar finally throw a touchdown to a wide receiver Saturday? If so, who's a better long shot anytime touchdown? D-Jax? Dude, I don't know. Like I don't know what to even say about this.
I'm gonna go ahead and say he doesn't throw a touchdown to a wide receiver. So don't bet on any of them because he doesn't throw touchdowns to receivers. Sammy Watkins got there yesterday? Yeah, I know he played for them last year, but and I don't trust Deshaun Jackson to do anything.
Yeah.
So
I don't have anything
I'm gonna go with no. Don't.
Is Devin Duvernay healthy?
He's in IR, I think, right? Is he?
Oh, that's why. Geez, that poor room. I think they're actually worse than the Giants. That sucks.
Which is saying something. Yeah, he went to
that's
IR.
Pretty bad. Oh, geez. Yeah. Feel bad for them. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Next question. Sorry, that stinks. Let's see who sent in this one. All right. At Nick AUR 90. How about that? I'm in semifinals, 5-point passing TD, point per 20 yards passing, standard rushing for quarterbacks, Burrow or Fields. Oh, man.
Oh, let's go take a peek about who Joe Burrow is playing this week.
Joe Burrow has the Patriots, who do very well against quarterbacks, as well as the Bills, who also don't allow a lot of points. But can you really not start Fields?
I'm not starting Fields. I'll go with Burrow. I can't.
Okay.
I mean, Fields got a little beat up last week. He took some big hits against the Eagles. Buffalo might be even more hard hitting than the Eagles even is maybe. So I'm just and it's in Buffalo, right? Yeah. Okay.
All right. The weather's gonna be shit.
Yeah. I'll go Burrow.
Okay.
I would go Burrow.
Okay.
For me.
All right. It's fine. All right. Next one. At BDN, which stands for Big Dick Nick. I'm kidding. I don't know what it stands for.
That is what it stands for, I think.
It stands for. It's actually Nick Foles. Nick Foles sends in questions because he knows we're both really big fans. Right. Where do you value CMC and Saquon as draft picks redraft next year? Does CMC remain in round 1, and does Saquon move back into round 1 discussion? I'll just start this off because Dan will never, ever, 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 ever draft a running back in the first round. I'm leaning that direction as well. I will take either of these guys towards the end of the first round, where we also might see them start slipping like they did. They're definitely going to go higher than they did last year because people were stealing them at their value. I probably still value them at the end of the first round. And I think that's where you'll probably see them go.
I think CMC does remain in round one, like in general.
Saquon probably not.
Saquon, no, I don't think. I think that even though he's had a bounce back year, I still don't think people have. He'll be trusted enough.
Saquon. It's kind of
right. Yeah, it is. Poor Saquon. Yeah, so I don't think he's earned like the trust to get back into round one, but I think CMC is definitely still a round one pick. Even if I personally wouldn't take him there, I think in general, in most drafts, he was still going in round one.
My thing with running backs is I get cute a little bit when I'm drafting because I enjoy I like stealing value on them. Like I think I got Saquon so late this year and it's awesome because I'm just like thriving in it. And I think it's funny to throw it back in people's face, but I only do that because I am nervous to take running backs really early.
And you just enjoy throwing things in people's faces.
It's very true. Yes, I do. Quietly. I've been better about it. All right. Staying with the same person, Big Dick Nick asks, would be are there any newcomer running backs? I can talk. I only have one high noon. Newcomer running backs that deserve to be drafted in round one next year. Kenneth Walker, Dameon Pierce. And we can add in this last question. Does Najee fall out of round one consideration? Najee absolutely does. Pittsburgh is too volatile right now. You don't know what you're getting. Even the Steelers, we just need to see what this team is going to be. They're probably going to have a little bit of a new identity. I want to see them go and try to add some pieces to that O-line before I feel super comfortable. Najee was one of the bigger disappointments. I think he's showing everyone, though. I love the overreactions that happened. He is obviously still going to be a staple in this offense, no matter what you guys want. That he is a big piece of this offense. They spent a lot of draft capital on him. As far as newcomer running backs, I'm not drafting Kenneth Walker or Dameon Pierce in the first round.
I think that
I think they'll get there. But I'm not.
Yeah, I think that Breece Hall, if he's healthy, would be a first round pick. I think that Walker, depending on what happens, because Seattle likes to fuck around with the running backs. If Walker gets the job and it's his, I think he could sneak in. I don't think that Pierce will get there. I think he'll be more like the second, third round. And I know this isn't a newcomer question, but wherever Bijan Robinson gets drafted, he's going in the first round. The hype on that guy is. I've never seen so much hype on one player. He was the running back one in Dynasty, since he was born. It seems like
he came out of his mom, and he was already the Dynasty. That's his middle name, Dynasty 101.
Exactly. So I think wherever he goes, I think the hype on him will drive him up draft boards, and therefore he'll sneak into the first round. Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm trying to think who else I'd put into consideration. I just don't. I think the way running backs, we saw, this was the first year that people really bought into the zero running back, technique that people now use, this lifestyle that they've created, this strategy. I couldn't figure out the freaking word.
Welcome aboard, everyone.
And I think that you see how that affects things next year, because in this year, I think it was a very different year drafting than it was in the past. So I think you'll see that continue, and I think running backs will slip further and further. As far as, I think you're right on that there. Let's see. 2 more questions. I don't know if I sent you these ones, but that's all right. Will the Vikings continue to win by the skin of their teeth all the way to being Super Bowl champs? #Skol.
No, they won't. The Vikings have been in what, 10 one possession games this year? And have won.
I know, but they're winning.
And have won all of them. I mean, that evens out over time. It's impossible to keep up. Yeah. Historically, that kind of luck or whatever you call it, that kind of, especially in the playoffs where the margins are so much smaller. And honestly, they should have lost to the Colts. It took the biggest comeback in the history of the NFL for them not to lose that game. So I mean, I just don't. And we all know how Kirk Cousins does in the playoffs. He sucks. So I mean, there are big holes. I mean, yeah, they've been winning, but there are still giant holes that they have that are kind of being glossed over just because of their record. And I think once the playoffs start, especially if they go up against a team like the Eagles or the 49ers, or even Dallas again, and Dallas like blew them out too this past year, that they'll be on the losing end of that. So I have no faith in the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs.
Yeah. They just keep winning, so I'm not, like, I don't know like, they're figuring it out, which is crazy to me. Like, that game this past weekend, I just don't even, like, understand how that occurred. I think that there is such a culture shift there, despite, like, I personally don't notice that big of a difference between Zimmer and O'Connell outside of them just winning games. Like, that is the only difference to me. I think the playbooks are very similar. I think a lot of their problems are very similar. I think they're getting, the wide receivers more involved, which is working, but they're still, like, doing a lot of just handoffs and up the middle. And I think they will probably catch up, unless maybe this is just their trick. Like, maybe they're just doing this on freaking purpose.
Yeah. I think the Giants beat them.
Oh my God.
Weekend. I think
you know what the everyday is draft day parlay is? Eagles Giants money line.
That's it. That's
our parlay.
That's our parlay. Eagles Giants money line. We need the picture of that meme with the shaking hands meme to do that. But yeah, I think the Giants defense is good enough to put Kirk Cousins in situations where he's going to make mistakes.
The secondary though.
I mean, yeah. It's a question mark, but I mean the Vikings have not done well against good defensive front sevens, and the Giants have a good defensive front seven, and they do have a really good running game. I mean, honestly, if the Colts had just run the ball like every down last week, they would have won that game. So, like you said, Daniel Jones has been better than a lot of people have given him credit for. I mean, Isaiah Hodgins has been, a dad. He's been a dad. For most of this year, he really stepped up for the receiver room this year. So I mean, they got Bellinger back. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not as crazy as people think it is. Like the Giants are playing some decent football. So I just hate the Vikings.
I'm gonna go into Giants rant, just be quick. And we'll probably lose all of our viewers because I do this. But like, you know what's awesome about the New York Giants?
No,
you look at their record. Awesome. I'll tell you. You look at their record. Okay. Look at their depth chart. Like, everyone had under 5 wins for this team. People were predicting them to win 1 to 3 fucking games. People better put respect on this team because they have the third most cap space next year. They are now can do free agency for once. Free agents are actually going to want to play there. I was talking to my brother about this. It's been a while since players would want to come to New York. Why the fuck would you want to come to New York? It's a disaster over there. They now have a coach that's bought in. They have a GM that isn't a complete doofus. And they're in a really, really good spot. And I think that, if they get, I'm kind of all in on Daniel Jones getting an extended contract. I think a contract that maybe we can get out of after however they decide to structure it. Do I think that Daniel Jones is the franchise quarterback? I mean, like, I'm not sold on that. Is he the guy that can help us for the next several years? I think so. I think Daniel Jones has shown a lot of development. Just go get him a wide receiver 1. But what they've done is impressive for a team that literally looks like donkey shit on paper.
No, you're right. It's been crazy just looking at the kind of names that are on the depth chart and then seeing the record and everything. And I think you're right. I think that Daniel Jones does deserve that kind of extension. I've been saying all year that everyone's been shitting on the Giants, and I've been sitting here like, they're not as bad as they say. And me saying it as an Eagles fan, like, it's hard to
it's
say
painful.
nice things. It is. It literally gives me indigestion to say nice things about the New York Giants. But I mean, the complete lack of disrespect when they've been showing it all year. Like, no one's saying that they're going to be like Super Bowl champions or like the Bills or the Chiefs, but from where they were last year, from where they are this year, with the kind of talent that they have, is literally probably one of the best coaching jobs that has happened in the NFL in a long time. And you look around the league to some of these other coaches like Hackett and stuff that have much more talent wise and are doing so much less than what Dable is doing with the Giants. I mean, it's really speaking to how well those hires are turning out, both GM and head coach wise for the Giants.
It's so
I'm
much
throw
more
up now.
important than people realize. Yeah, I'm definitely clipping that. I'm saying that to the editor to clip up. All right, one last question, unless people want to throw a couple more things in the chat, feel free to. I got this question in my DMs, and I was very torn, and I think it's just because the tight end situation is so frustrating this year, which it is every year. I'm actually going to stop saying that. Tight end is a very frustrating position. Year. I want to take out the tight end position and just make that part of a flex spot. Like, I don't want to have to start a tight end unless I want to, because some leagues I will start them. Like, if I have a strong tight end room, like, I'll start more than one if I need to. But I hate feeling forced to start a tight end. But someone asked, should they start Kmet, Knox, or Fant? Yeah, it sucks, right?
Knox.
Yeah, I think Knox too. I think that's the best way to go. I think Fant, I just don't trust Seattle. Like, remember when everyone was like Disley? Like, I don't trust it.
No, I don't trust Fant, and I don't trust the Chicago passing game at all, especially against the Bills in the weather. So by default, it's Knox.
Yeah.
I do have a question. Okay, here's one. Let me find it here. What to do with Lamar Jackson in Dynasty? Do you sell high or do you hold?
Is it fair to say that Lamar Jackson probably will not be a Baltimore Raven next year?
You think so?
I don't know. Do you think they're going to actually pay him, and why have they waited so long?
I don't know. I think that they should pay him, because what else are you going to do without him? It's not like they have, a plan otherwise, unless you can't. Like, do you really think they trust Huntley enough to give the reins to him? I think that it'd be great. Like, it's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible that they could move on, because, people do stupid shit all the time. But I just think that it would be very surprising for them to move on from Lamar Jackson. Though I would see why you would think so, because, like, it seems like he's reached the ceiling to how far he can take them in the playoffs. So, I mean, I could see not wanting to pay him and trying something else.
I'm torn.
You're the one that asked the question. What do you mean you're torn?
I know. I just don't know how I feel. I'm sorry. I think. What are you going to sell high for, though, with the questions? Like surrounding him. Like, I don't even know what you would get. I wonder, for me, I probably am not paying up. Like, I'm not going to pay anyone for Lamar right now. Like, if I have him on my team, that's great. I might try to sell him, but I'm not going to be someone that's actively trying to get Lamar. I
mean, I would probably sell high if I had him. I'd try selling him.
Yeah.
Just because he's like QB 10, I think, right now. If you can get a first round or a couple picks for him, and then a lesser quarterback in exchange, I would do that, especially in 1 QB leagues. I would get multiple first for him in a super flex if I could.
This is kind of a shitty time. This the time that I'm really selling quarterbacks, though, for me.
Yeah, but I think if you between the two of sell or hold, I would sell.
I might hold
personally.
I don't know. It's a lot. Do we have any more questions? I think that's it, right?
I think that is it.
That's it.
Yes.
That's all the questions for today.
That's it, and that's all.
Cool. We're done. Yeah. All right, guys, go download the Champions Run app. We have something really fun that is rolling out. It's rolled out only if you know that, though. The full launch will be coming very shortly to you guys. We will be back next week. Haven't decided when. We'll figure it out. You guys submit your questions. Everyone was awesome. Excited for this weekend. Every day is draft day. Official parlay is Eagles money line, Giants money line. Let's ride.
Let's do it.
See you guys.
See ya.